There's one mistake almost every beginner trader makes. That mistake isn't what strategy you use, isn't your indicators, isn't even your psychology. Instead, it's the mistake of believing that some guy somewhere holds the key to your profitability, which is just so unbelievably stupid. However, people don't end up falling for this because they themselves are stupid. They end up falling for this because them seeing that guy in a Lambo on TikTok or Instagram was their first and only impression of trading. And it's not just beginners that fall into this trap, because I have seen cases of people who've been trading for 2, 3, 4, upwards of 5 whole years, and they're still in the cycle of giving gurus money so that they can tell them how to trade, which is just, it's just depressing, really. Now, this isn't to say that all trading courses out there are just plain rubbish, because there are a select few, and I really do mean this, like a small percentage of trading courses that are really informative and do really teach you a lot about trading. However, the main selling point about those courses is the fact that either A, you get access to a webinar with that trader, along with other people who also sign up for that webinar, or B, you get one-to-one mentorship with that trader, which is, it ends up being quite expensive. However, most trading courses aren't like this. Most trading courses are just a Google Drive folder with a bunch of documents sold from a Discord or Telegram channel with arguably the most basic trading knowledge that you can find. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to go over some of the chapter names in the course that I found, and this course costs quite a bit of money. I'm not going to say whose it is or anything like that, but we have trend lines, support and resistance, fair value gaps, order blocks, volume, liquidity, and a bunch more just really basic trading concepts that can be found on the internet for free, whether that's on YouTube or somewhere else. However, there is no reason at all you should be paying any amount of money for these concepts so that you can learn them. They're all free. Sure, they might be hard to find or whatnot, but you can find them. And I would understand it if that course includes learning a strategy that is proven. I don't know how it would be proven, but it's proven, and you decide to go for it. However, I'm not the biggest fan of that, because it's not your strategy. You didn't make it. You weren't there when that strategy was built from the ground up, whether that's even the case, because some strategies are just taken from one guy to another, passed around and just reworded, and they're basically the same. And the way I like to see it, it's like using someone else's car. Sure, you can take the car, you can drive it, you can get to and from work, but at the end of the day, it's not your car. If something goes wrong with that car, you're not going to have a clue what's wrong with it, because, well, it's not yours. And that same concept applies to strategies, because a person who made a strategy from the ground up is going to know what problems it has, what to do when the market changes, because they've backtested that strategy over months and months, even years in some cases, of prior charts. And a person who just comes in and takes or learns a strategy from a person who's already made one is not going to have nearly as much knowledge about what actually goes into that strategy, as opposed to the person who made it and actually put in the effort to backtest all that data. However, in trading influencers sell courses, most of the times they tend to sell two other things alongside that. That being some form of a trading account, whether that's a prop firm account or an account for a brokerage with some sort of affiliate, and signals. But first we're going to talk about the trading accounts. Now, for the most part, the average trading account you're going to be tempted with would be a prop firm account, and well, there's nothing wrong with that, because in my opinion at least, prop firm accounts are single-handedly the easiest and best way to become profitable, if they're used effectively, of course. And if you want to see a video where I talk about the best way to use prop firm accounts as efficiently as possible so you can become profitable, just let me know in the comment section below. The only thing I would say to look out for when going for a prop firm that's being sold from an affiliate would be, if the prop firm's been around for a long time, whether they've got a real community of people who use that prop firm, whether they've given out, verified payouts, and the overall track record of the person who's actually affiliated with that prop firm. However, sometimes a trading influencer might not be affiliated with a prop firm, but rather a brokerage account, which is just, please just stay away from these accounts at all costs. And the way you would be lured into some of these brokerage accounts would be through some massive, incredible sign-up bonus. For example, you put in $100 of your own money and you get 10x that amount in account balance, which sounds good on paper until you realize that this account not only gives you 10x the amount in credit, but it also has some massive leverage, like 1 to 500. And because of your massive market exposure, one wrong move and your entire account is gone. And in the off chance you are actually able to generate some profits, the chance of you being able to withdraw that money is close to none. Because more often than not, these brokerage accounts are run out of a shed on a random Caribbean island where They're outside of the jurisdiction of pretty much every single financial authority, like the FCA, the ESMA, the SEC, which means that if they really wanted to, these brokerage firms could just take all their users' money and disappear off the face of the earth, and no one could do anything about it. To make matters worse, these dodgy brokerage accounts are the very same tool that trading influencers use to generate a false trading record, which helps them to appear as if they're really good at trading when in reality they're likely average or below average at their best. And this is because they've got access to the main brokerage server, which allows them to essentially modify their trading history so it appears as if they are on a live account, which they are. However, they are able to modify the history to add and delete positions that they either want to show or don't want to show, resulting in fake MetaTrader histories, which, not just MetaTrader, but many brokerages, which appear as if they're really good. They could have like a 70 or an 80% win rate. However, in reality, they're probably just shit. Now, this doesn't mean that every single screenshot of someone's trading history is fake. However, if that person is affiliated with a trading broker that doesn't seem to have that good of a reputation or doesn't really look that official, then chances are that the screenshot is likely faked. And it's not just screenshots, it's also, videos, because if the history is fake, then you can actually just log into the account and show it as if it's a real account when it isn't. I really do not like signals. I guess you could say even hate them, because something about them just bothers me more so than an overpriced trading course that doesn't really provide you any value, or a dodgy trading broker that is just going to take all your money on a Tuesday. But trading signals just really, I just hate them. I hate them. Firstly, trading signals are by far the easiest thing a person can go out there and fake, because all someone has to do is just post some trading signals. They don't have to be right or wrong, on Instagram, a Discord chat, a Telegram channel, it doesn't matter. All they have to do is post a set of signals, and once all of them play out, all they go and do is just delete the ones that didn't work out. And now it looks like they give out signals with an 80 or 90% win rate. And these trading results are just another trap to trick you into buying one of their courses. And if you do find someone who gives out what seems to be actual reliable signals that work, and you've tested them over a couple of weeks or a couple of months on a demo account and you decide to go for it on a live or a funded, still, I really do not like that, because what you're essentially doing is you're just basically being told when to trade, when not to trade, when to put your stop, when to move your stop, when to move your take profit and whatnot. And you're not learning how to trade at all. You're just being told what to do. It's like I could go give a homeless person an iPhone and teach him how to use MetaTrader 5 and give him the exact same signals that you're using, and I guarantee that the result would be pretty much the same, because when you're using signals, it's like what I talked about earlier with taking someone else's strategy. You're not learning anything. Obviously, these three factors that I just talked about are all ways influencers use to trick young traders into giving them their money, and it goes far deeper than what I talked about, because frankly, this is just the surface of it. However, if there's any topics you guys would like me to talk about, pretty much anything about trading, then just let me know in the comment section below and I'll try to make it happen. But that's pretty much it, guys. Take care.